going to talk about the importance of black history, and we're doing this a little bit ahead because I want to make a point of why, and you guys see back here it says Black History Year, and there's a very specific reason for that. So I want to ask you guys a couple questions, and be honest with me. Who in here has ever heard of Martin Luther King? I think that's everybody. All right. Who in here has heard of Otis Boykin or Frederick Jones? Okay, one person. Who in here has heard of Rosa Parks? Looks like everyone. Who in here has heard of Patricia Bath? Looks like no one. Who in here has ever heard of Malcolm X? Looks like almost everyone. Who in here has heard of Alexander Miles? No one's heard of Alexander Miles. Okay. Now, I asked you those questions because I want to highlight a very valuable point. Malcolm X, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King. Highly significant individuals. The problem is, black history in most school systems stops with a few people. It stops with a few people. So the point in me speaking to you about this today is to kind of show you, and I'm going to give you a scenario here in a second, of how important Black History Year is. How important that Black history is 365. Because we all know the Martin Luther Kings and the Malcolms and the Rosas, but we don't know the Frederick Jones, the Patricia Bass, the Daniel Hale Williams, the Garrett Morgans. We don't know those individuals. So I want you guys to, you can close your eyes, you don't have to close your eyes, but I want you to envision this day for you. I'm going to paint a day for you. Okay, everybody ready to do that? Yeah. All right, I'm going to paint a day. So imagine you're getting up in the morning and you're cold and you go to turn the heat on because you're cold and you reflect on the fact that Alice Parker invented the heating furnace. And then you remember you left your favorite shirt that you want to wear that day to school. You left it in the washer, so you get it out and you go to put it in the dryer. And you think about the black man, George Sampson, who invented the dryer. And then while you're waiting for your shirt to dry, you get out your beauty products or your hair products, and you think about Madam C.J. Walker, who invented black hair products and beauty products, and who also, by the way, was the first self-made female millionaire ever, of any nationality. And then your grandfather who lives with you and who's taking you to school, he screams up to you to get ready for school, and you think how he drives you nuts, but you sure are glad for that pacemaker that keeps him alive. And you think of Otis Boykin, another black man who invented the pacemaker. And then you start reflecting on your grandfather's crazy old stories, which you get sick of at times. But you think about your favorite one, which involves a gas mask that saved his life so many years ago. And you think of Garrett Morgan, another black man who invented the gas mask. And then your grandfather says, we got to hurry up, let's get to school, but I have to drop off a check to my friend. And I need to write him a check, so he pulls out a pen. And you think about William Purvis, another black man who invented the fountain pen. And then you get to your grandfather's friend's condominium, and you get out of the car, and outside there's a guy playing a guitar. And you think about Robert Fleming, another black man who invented the guitar. And then you go inside the condominium, and you get into the elevator to go up 20 flights. and you think of Alexander Miles, another black man who invented the elevator. And when you get to the 20th floor, you notice there are electricians working. And suddenly all the lights go out. And that allows you to reflect on light. And you think about Lewis Latimer, another black man who invented the filament in the light bulb so that it would last longer than 2 days. And then your grandfather's crazy old friend comes to the door with a lantern. And you laugh and you chuckle and you think, this guy's a nut. And he goes on with stories about Michael Harvey, another black man who invented the lantern, the first form of light. And then you're bugging your grandfather because, after all, you don't want to be late to school, have your teacher admonish you. So you say, let's go, let's go. And on the way out, you see a woman with a stroller. And you think about William Richardson, another black man who invented the baby buggy, the first form of a stroller. And then when you're almost to school, you stop at a light. And there's a hospital on the corner. And so when you're at that light, you reflect again on Garrett Morgan, because not only did he develop the gas mask, but he also invented the traffic signal. And you glance at that hospital, and it reminds you of Daniel Hale Williams, another black man who was the first person to perform open heart surgery in the world. And then you get to school, and you want to be ready, and you don't want to be berated by your teacher, so you expeditiously chuck into the school. I know, one of our words, right? So you get into the school, and you realize you need to sharpen your pencil. So you go to the pencil sharpener, and you think of John Love, another black man who invented the pencil sharpener. And then, because school gets boring, as it often does, right? You guys agree with that? You start reflecting on the summer. And you think about running through lawn sprinklers. And you remember John Smith, another black man who invented the lawn sprinkler. And then while you're sitting there, you also reminisce about the summer, and you think about ice cream cones and getting ice cream from the ice cream truck. And you're reminded of Frederick Jones, yet another black man who invented the refrigeration system that maintained the blood for and saved so many lives during the war. And then you reflect, while you're thinking of the summer, of all the money you make mowing lawns. And that reminds you of John Burr, another black man who invented the lawnmower. And school's so boring, you're waiting for lunch. So finally you get to go to lunch. And you're elated to go to lunch, and you get to the cafeteria, and a fire ensues, a small fire ensues in the kitchen. So one of the janitors grabs the fire extinguisher, and he quickly puts the thing out. And you think of Thomas Marshall, another black man who invented the fire extinguisher. And then finally, you sit down, happy to eat your lunch. Your very favorite. Peanut butter and jelly. That's your favorite? Potato chips and Reese's peanut butter cups. Anybody like Reese's peanut butter cups? And you think of George W. Carver, yet another black man who invented peanut butter. And you think of George Crumb, another black man who invented the potato chip. And then you're ready to go home, because after that you have one more class, and you run out. You're waiting for your grandfather to pick you up, and his old crazy friend is there. And he says, boy, get in the car. You know your grandfather's having his cataracts removed today. Yep, his cataracts. And you think of Patricia Bath, A black woman who invented the laser method for removing cataracts, which is why millions and millions of people have sight and are able to have their sight restored. And you smile and you reflect on how different your life would be, how many people wouldn't even be, how many people would not even exist had these individuals never lived.
I am Black History.
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 I am Black History.